Hey you guys, so today's video is going to be a waterproof makeup tutorial. I've never done one of these on my channel before and I'm kind of scared, to be honest. I know most of us don't wear a full face of makeup in the pool or the shower or whatever. If you do, you do you. So I'm just mostly doing this for fun, but I think it would be cool to learn what products are the best when it comes to being waterproof. And I asked you guys on Twitter if you would rather see like a drugstore versus high-end version of this, or if you'd rather me just stick to like the same products on both sides of my face. The majority of you guys did say that you wanted me to check out some drugstore waterproof makeup and then some more high-end ones. So I am going to be using a mix of the two so we can see kind of which holds up better. And I am going to be testing this out at the end because it just wouldn't make sense not to, so make sure you watch until the end. So I'm going to do the more high-end products on this side of my face and drugstore on this side. So I'm going to start with foundation, and I'm going to start off with my Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is in the shade 1N1 Ivory Nude. This is probably one of the most long-wearing foundations that I've ever tried, and it is pretty heavy-duty, so I'm just going to dot this all around on this half of my face. Don't really know how I'm going to do the nose yet. So I'm just going to apply this using a damp beauty blender. I'm just bouncing it all around my face to just blend it in and make sure there's no streaks or anything like that. And I'm just going to kind of make like an invisible line down my face, so I'm only going to apply it to that one side. Man, I forgot how much I love this foundation. The coverage is so good. Why don't I ever wear this? Alright, so on the other half of my face, I'm going to go in with one of my all-time favorite drugstore foundations. Can you guys guess what it is? I'll give you a second. Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm in the shade 100 Ivory in this. Since this one claims to last 25 hours, I thought it'd be a good one to put to the waterproof test. And this is not going to match this side of my face, by the way. I mean, it might, but I'm sure these two foundations are not the same exact shade, so just ignore that. Alright, so foundation's on, I'm going to move on to concealer, and for the high-end side of my face, I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC15. This is one of my longest wearing concealers that I've tried. So I'm just applying this underneath my eye to cover up that dark circle and kind of simultaneously highlight that area. And I'm taking a little bit onto my lid as well to prime for my eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to move on to my chin or mouth area, wherever I have any blemishes, and just cover them up with that concealer as well. And then for the drugstore concealer, I'm going to use my Maybelline Master Conceal. This is one of my favorite drugstore concealers because it is pretty heavy duty, but thin at the same time, like it's not super thick. Wow, I just squirted out way more than I needed to. Great going. And then I'm just going to use this in the same areas, obviously, so underneath my eye, on my lid, a little bit on my chin, and then just anywhere that I have any little spots. Okay, so before I set with translucent powder, I'm going to go in and cream contour. So for the high-end side, I'm going to use my Anastasia Cream Contour Kit in Fair, and I'm going to use my Smith 124 Cream Contour Brush, and I'm just going to kind of get all the above. And I'm just carving out my cheek with this, just applying it maybe like 2 inches in towards my mouth, and then blending it out with the Beauty Blender, and then applying a little bit on my forehead and blending that out there. And I figured that I would go for more cream products today just because that might be a little bit easier to hold up underwater than powder. I don't know though. We'll see. And for the drugstore side, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Contour Stick, and this is in the shade Light/Medium. Okay, and then I also wanted to use some cream blushes, so this first one is by Ritual de Feel. They're an online brand, and I only started using their products a little bit ago, but I really like them. And anyways, this blush is called Desire. It's a matte mauvey dark pink. I'm just going to take this right on the fat end of my Beauty Blender and just dab this onto my cheeks. That's really pigmented, oh my god. Abort! Actually, it looks really nice when you blend it out. False alarm, guys. Don't worry. And then for the more affordable side, I'm going to use this Pixi by Petra Multi Balm. So this one is in the shade Wild Rose. And it's not a perfect match, but we'll make it work. And when I am applying cream blushes, this is definitely the best way to do it. Just like get some on the end of your Beauty Blender. Because if I go in just with this and like wipe it on my face, it goes on way too strong. Okay, so I am gonna go in now and set my face with a translucent powder. I'm just gonna use the same translucent powder for my face because that doesn't really matter to me. I'm gonna use the RCMA No Color Powder. And I'm just gonna use a tiny bit. So I'm mainly focusing this in the areas that I applied my concealer, so underneath my eyes, that's where I'm applying most of it, and then some on my chin, around my laugh lines, and then a little bit in the center of my forehead. And then I am going to take just a tiny bit of this, whatever is left on the lid, and just sweep this over my eye. And I'm focusing mostly in the crease and up to the brow, and I'm not putting much on the lid. So I'm going to move on to highlight now, and on the high-end side of my face, I'm going to use my Anastasia Starlight Illuminator. I haven't used this in a really long time. It's been a while. And just going to apply this right to my cheeks. I don't know how the highlight's going to hold up. Not sure. And I'm applying a pretty generous amount too, so there might be regrets. On this side, I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the color Iced Latte. This is actually something that I used to use a lot as a highlighter, just because it's like that perfect tone. It's a little bit chunky, but it works pretty well as a highlight. And these are apparently waterproof, so this side might hold up a little bit better. And I'm going to use this one to highlight my nose just because I want to see how it does. Okay, so I'm going to move on to brows now, and I was going to try to find a drugstore brow product to use over here, but I can't find any that I have, and I also went to the store. I just couldn't find any, so I am actually going to use the Wonder Brow on both of my brows, mainly because I couldn't find a drugstore one, but actually also because this is crazy. I haven't used this in a video yet, but I did post a video on Instagram. I thought these were gonna be kind of hyped up, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna like these, but I really do. These are crazy. These are the most long-wearing, budge-proof brow products that I've ever tried. And I'm pretty sure neither of these colors are gonna match my hair because I just dyed it the other day, but I have the shades Auburn and Brunette, so I'm just gonna kind of use them both and see how it looks. So I'm just applying that to my brows with the applicator that it comes with, but it's actually a little bit too thick for my liking, so once I get the majority of them on, I'm just gonna switch to my Smith 205 angled liner brush and just use this to fill in the rest of the brows. I'm gonna start on my eyes now. For this side, I'm gonna go into my Tartelette in Bloom palette, and I'm just gonna grab this medium light brown. I'm just gonna sweep this into the crease just to add a little bit of dimension. And then I know you can't technically find Makeup Geek at the drugstore, but the eyeshadows are really affordable. They're like $6 a piece. So I'm just gonna take a mix of these two right here. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the lid color now, and I'm going to be using this long-wearing eyeshadow stick by The Balm. It's called Batter Up, and this is in the color Dugout. It's a really dark bronzy brown. I love it. It's really pretty. So I'm just going to apply that directly to my lid, and then I'm actually going to start blending it out with a lip brush by Smith Cosmetics. And then once I get that all over the lid, I'm going to take a small fluffy brush and just blend that into that crease shadow. On this side, I'm going to be using another L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow, and this is in the color Bronzed Taupe. And this was as close of a match I could find to this one, so it's not perfect, but I tried. So for eyeliner, I have this Inglot 77 gel liner. I've been using this for a while now, and this is just a really great smudge-proof liner. I'm pretty sure it's going to hold up in the water as well. To apply this, I'm using my Smith 202 fine liner brush, and I'm just going to map this out and then fill it in. I applied a pretty generous amount because, actually not going to lie to you, I didn't mean to. It just got out of control like it always does with gel liner. So I went to the drugstore earlier to look for an eyeliner to use, and I got the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liner because this was like my ride or die back in the day, like 2 years ago. This is just amazing. It's pretty much as good as the higher end gel liners that you'll find, and it's like $9. And that Maybelline liner actually does say smudge-proof and waterproof on the packaging, so it's gotta work. I left my camera charger at my parents' house, so I just had to go all the way to their house to get my camera charger. So my makeup's been on for like an hour now, and I'm kind of surprised actually because it's like 90 degrees outside, and it's actually holding up really well. So moving on to mascara, this is the L'Oreal Hydrofuge Voluminous Carbon Black Waterproof Mascara, and I don't have a high-end mascara, so I'm just gonna use this one on both eyes. I I actually used to have this mascara, but I tried it once and I just never used it again because it was so hard to get off. So I'm assuming that this will hold up pretty well in the shower. We'll see. And I'm not wearing any fake lashes because I don't want to ruin any of my lashes, so I just applied like 2 coats of mascara to my lashes, and I'm going to skip the eyeshadow on the lower lash line because I want to see if the mascara runs at all, so I'm just going to apply a thin coat of this to the lower lashes. So I just feel like I need to highlight the inner corners of my eyes really quickly, so I'm going to use this Infallible eyeshadow over here. And the Mary Luminizer over here on this eye. So I figured I might as well tightline while I'm at it. For the high-end side, I'm going to use this Marc Jacobs black eyeliner pen. It's technically called the Highliner Gel Crayon. And then on the other side, I'm going to use this J-Cat Beauty waterproof gel liner. Alright, so now I just need to move on to the lips, and I'm going to start out with lip liners. This first one I'm going to use is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil. This is in the color Naked. I hear that these are really long lasting, so that's why I decided to go with these ones. Then I'm just going to switch over to this one by J-Cat Beauty. It's the Waterproof Gel Lip Liner. This is in the color So Fond of You. These shades aren't going to be a perfect match like everything else on my face, but it's as close as I could get. And then I'm going to layer some liquid lipsticks over the top of that lip liner. So on this side, I'm going to try the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick. This is in the color Babe Alert. And then for the other side, I'm going to use this Milani Matte Lip Cream, and this is in the shade Precious. I know that looks weird because they're so obviously different colors. This side is already dry, this side is getting there, so I'm just going to give it a couple minutes to dry down. And then a good trick that I like to use is to take just a tiny bit of translucent powder and dab it over the top. Even on long wearing liquid lipsticks, this helps them to last even longer. All my makeup's on, almost ready to hop in the shower, but there's one more step that I have to do to make this last a crazy amount of time. And that is the Ben Nye Final Seal Matte Makeup Setting Spray. It's actually called the Makeup Sealer, which makes it sound a lot different in my opinion, and it does seal your makeup into your face like it's not going anywhere. I've tried this a couple times before and it is heavy duty. If you guys actually want your makeup to last all day, through sweat, through water, through anything, through the apocalypse, this is it. One thing I don't like is that it sprays out kind of violently, so like I have to give it a couple sprays at first to make sure that it's like a fine mist before I spray my face, because like yesterday I used it and it shot out in like 4 areas and that was it. So just be careful. Alright, so I'm gonna let this sit for a couple minutes and then we're gonna go do the test. I'm kind of scared, don't know what's gonna happen, pretty sure it's gonna stay on, but we will see. Okay you guys, so now is the time for the test. Alright, so I hopped into the shower and I was in there for a few minutes, but I did run my face under the water for about 3 or 4 times, and I tried to keep under there as long as I could to make sure that it got my forehead, my eyes, my nose, my lips, everywhere on my face pretty much. Alright you guys, so this is how it looks. I waited like 10 minutes to film this part because I wanted my face to air dry. I didn't like blot it with a towel or anything. I tried not to touch my face when I got out of the shower because I knew that that would kind of smudge around my makeup. I'm honestly shocked how good it still looks. Like I wasn't expecting my face makeup to still be like almost 100% the same as it was before. My eyes did really well too. So it looks a little bit scary when you get up close. Like my foundation on this side rubbed off a little bit by my brows. So it did over here a little bit as well, but it's definitely more noticeable on this side. I would say from looking at the foundation, I don't know, both of them probably held up about the same. I don't know though, it's hard to say. They both look pretty similar on either side. They both look a little bit cakey, but what can you do? So the eyebrows are obviously just that one product, the Wonder Brow. They didn't budge at all. I mean, even wiping my fingers on my brows did not do anything. This is just a crazy good product. So as far as the eyeshadow, they both held on actually really well. They didn't fade at all. This is the Balm, this is the L'Oreal, and they both literally look like pretty much exactly the same as they did before I went in the shower. So that's cool. As far as the eyeliner, they both look pretty much the same too. When you look at these side by side, the Maybelline one is a lot lighter than the Inglot one, and it does look like the tip of it just smudged just a tiny bit. But other than that, they both look pretty good. They didn't run too much at all. The mascara was actually pretty good, except for when you look underneath this eye, you can see a little bit of smudging under there, and a little bit under here as well. And then as far as the tight liners that I used, the pencils up here, this one didn't really transfer at all. You can see when I pull it down, there's like maybe a little bit, but that might be from the mascara, I'm not sure. This one over here, you can see from the outer corner to like the middle part right here, that JCat Beauty liner pencil did transfer to my lower waterline, so whoops. As far as like my under eyes go and everything, I didn't really notice anything too different about the concealers. This one looks particularly cakey. This is the Maybelline, but this one looks pretty good. And then the highlight over here is still really strong, surprisingly. I can't believe that's still there. On my nose, on the tip, this kind of rubbed off up here. And then the Anastasia one actually stayed on pretty well too. And then I'd say that the blush looks pretty good on both sides. I think that this one maybe stayed on a little bit better. That is the Pixie Multi-Balm. But this one is still pretty good too, but you can kind of start to see like my redness coming through right here, like my zits and everything. As far as the contour, this one looks a little bit muddy. This is the Anastasia Fair Cream Contour Kit, but it still does look pretty good. And then this is the Wet n Wild. That one actually doesn't look too bad. The foundation is kind of bunching up a little bit weird right there, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Okay, and then the lipstick. These actually stayed on pretty well. They both kind of started to fade right here on the bottom lip. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I do have some flakage going on down here. So it looks like that was the Smashbox lipstick that just kind of flaked off a little bit. There's none on this side, and the color matches this one more. So this one actually held up pretty well. Alright you guys, so that's it for the waterproof makeup tutorial and test. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm actually really surprised how good it still looks and how well these products held up. I will have to say though that I'm pretty sure they held up this well, mostly because of this sealing spray. It just is magical. I'm telling you, you guys need to try it. Overall, I honestly think that both sides performed pretty similarly. Let me know what you guys think, which side you think looks better, and if you have any waterproof makeup products that are your favorites, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, let me know what you want me to do in my next videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!